Please do be seated. This morning, I'd like us to imagine that we're listening to a conversation in Bethlehem between Mary and Joseph, a few days before Mary gives birth to their first child. Come, sit here for a while. You look very tired. Thank you, Joseph. I'll rest for a moment. Mary, I'm worried about you. You don't seem your usual self, and I don't think it's just tiredness. What is really troubling you? I am tired. Which woman wouldn't be when carrying this bump around? But you're right. It's not just tiredness. To be honest, I'm scared and excited at the same time. I'm not naive. I know that giving birth can be very painful and very dangerous for both the baby and the mother. I've known women in our village who have died giving birth. I know that some babies don't survive. Mary, we mustn't forget what we believe God has told us about this baby. Remember what your cousin said when you visited her. Remember how her baby jumped when he heard your voice. I do remember, Joseph. I do remember. How could we ever forget? But I'm scared. How are we in this strange town sharing this space with your family's animals? I want my mum with me. But she's miles away, back home in Nazareth. That's where I want to be, not here in this strange place with your very kind and very generous relations. Indeed, I hardly know them. I need my mum. I'm here, Mary, and I always will be. I know you are, and always will be. You're a good man, Joseph. I know that. If it weren't for your strength, your faith, your love, you'd have left me. Or even worse, I'd be dead. Please, Mary, don't think like that. Don't think about what might have been. Here we are, man and wife, together. And we're doing what we believe is God's will for us and for our baby. You're right, Joseph. But I'm still scared. Not just by the pain and dangers of giving birth, but also of being parents. Parents of whom we believe our first child, our first son, is to be called to be. Scared. But, as you said, also very excited at the prospect of being parents. Yes, I am very excited, but how will we cope? When we return to Nazareth, won't people shun us? Won't we bring shame on our families? Won't they know that this baby was conceived before we were married? Mary, this baby was conceived by God's love. And our son will be born and grow up in our love, and above all, in God's love. That's all that really matters, not what other narrow-minded people may think. That's why we're together, me and you, husband and wife, expecting our first child any day now. You're right, Joseph. But aren't you even a little bit scared about being a dad? A baby? Any baby, but especially this baby, will change our lives forever. Change them in ways we simply cannot even begin to imagine. Don't you find that scary? I do, Mary, I do. But change is always a bit scary. We like to stick with what we know, what we're familiar with. We only know now. The future is only ever a promise, no matter how much we avoid that truth. I know. But being a parent, especially a mum and dad to this baby, don't you find that just a little bit daunting? We've never been mum and dad. Yes, I know that there will be lots of advice from our parents, but there's no textbook, especially on how to raise our child, believing that he will one day take the throne of David. What happens if we get it wrong? Mary, my mum and dad told me there's only one rule to bringing up a child. They need to be brought up knowing that they are loved. Loved not for what they might achieve, how rich they may be, how powerful they may be, how clever, but simply loved for who they are. That all sounds very laudable, very high-minded. But what happens if, perhaps I should say when, they disobey us, or when they do things that we know are wrong? Children, especially teenagers, can be awful. How do we love them then? Mary, look at us. I love you even when we disagree, even when you're tired and irritable, even when you're being totally unreasonable. I love you for who you are, warts and all. That doesn't mean that we will always approve of what our son may or may not do, but we will always love him and try our best to guide him to be always doing the right thing. Joseph, I'm tired, I'm excited, I'm nervous. This is our first baby. Any day now, we'll be parents for the first time. We have no idea what may or may not lie ahead of us. We have no idea of who this baby, a baby we believe we are called by God to love and to guide. We have no idea how this baby will grow up to be. Mary, the future is always unknown, as it was when we chose to marry. We took that decision. We faced that enormous change together, knowing that we did so held in each other's love and held in God's love. We will face the unknown future as parents of the son we believe will be God's son. We will face the unknown future together, in our love and in God's love. Our son, as he grows up, will know that he is always held in our love and forever held in God's love, that he is loved simply for who he is. For who he is, the Son of God. What does that mean? Mary, you know I'm no learned rabbi. As you know only too well, my understanding of all this is very little. But I believe that we are all made in God's image and likeness. Looking at you and looking at me, that's obviously not a physical likeness. God's character, God's values, God's essence is within every person. For some people, sadly, that likeness is buried very, very deep. Most people, like us, will never fully realize that likeness in this life. But our Son, the Son of God, I believe will fully realize God's image and likeness, and thereby show the world how we all should live. Perhaps I should call you Rabbi Joseph. I do love you, and I know that we will love our son. But now I'm very tired, still very nervous, still a little scared. But we have our love, and we have God's love, and God's promise. And in that, I and we and our son can face our future.